So, hello everyone. This is our ethical case analysis, and we are doing scenario 1. I am Autumn.
Joseph.
And Susie.
So, the introduction to our scenario is Tula's counseling Andrew, who has an ex on the same campus named Colette. Another one of Tula's clients is Louisa, and she has come in and stated she has found a new partner. This partner's name happens to be Colette, Andrew's ex-partner. In this scenario, the problem here is Tula has clients with conflicting situations. Though she is counseling both of them, they are now both involved with Colette. Though Tula is not certain that Louisa's new partner is the same one as Andrew's ex, it can be assumed that it is probable. They are on the same college campus, and the timeline lays out about the same when they came in and out of the sessions. Andrew has also made it clear that he wishes to spark the relationship with Colette once again. So the key problems here are there is a conflict of interest involved, and there's also some obligation of service issues. As a stakeholder in the situation, Andrew has a setback in the sense of Tula knowing more about the situation than he does. Being his counselor and having that information, if he found out on his own, it could cause him some harm, and then her knowing, it could be hard to support him. Louisa has stakes because Andrew's situation, whatever he does, could affect her and Colette as well. It could cause them both harm. Tula has to figure out whether or not to continue the counseling relationship and work through the ways of supporting them the best. And again, the problems we saw with this were a conflict of interest because there are multiple parties involved. So if one of the stakeholders decides to do something, they're all affected. Another issue we saw is maintaining confidentiality because both of the clients have knowledge of Colette and their own situations. Tula has to set aside this knowledge to support them both and maintain this confidentiality. And then we also found an obligation of service issue.
So here are some of the ACA codes and ethical obligations that would be relevant to Tula's case and situation. While her personal feelings or discomfort around counseling those two clients, Andrew and Louisa, would create some conflict for her internally, she is not ethically bound to tell them of each other per the ACA codes. So we'll start with the first sections, B2E, minimal disclosure, which basically means clients are informed before confidential information is disclosed and are involved in the disclosure decision-making process. Essentially, that means if they wanted Tula to tell someone else that they were being counseled by her, they would have to come to that agreement together. Therefore, Tula cannot break confidence and tell Andrew that she is also seeing Louisa and vice versa. B1B, the respect for privacy. Tula is obligated to respect the privacy of her future and current clients, and she can request private information only when it's beneficial to the counseling process, and also if it is beneficial to her client. The respect for confidentiality, B1C, means that she has to protect the information of her future and current clients as well, and can only disclose information with appropriate consent from her client or with sound legal or ethical justification, which also includes state mandates and court orders for counseling. These codes would apply if Tula decided to do group counseling with Andrew and his ex, if they rekindled the relationship, or any of the three parties involved decided to do counseling together. The counselor would have to clearly define who's considered the client. Under this section, they are able to name a relationship as the client per the guidelines. So for billing purposes and also for legal purposes, the relationships between the individuals involved can be considered the client as well. B7B, the disclosure of confidential information. pertains to if Tula is going to seek outside consultation, which is likely in this scenario, that she would not be able to release detailed or specific information about her clients that would give away their identity. For example, appearance, name, address. Since it's on a college campus and there's a small population of people, word could get around if she released too much detailed or specific information about each client. Speaking of potential consultation scenarios, we decided that it is likely that Tula, as a college counselor, would have superiors to report to or ask for support for this case, since it seems like it is a point of conflict for her in her own personal moral guidelines. However, she's not bound by the ACA Code of Ethics to reveal the identity of her clients to each other. Therefore, if she is seeking consultation with superiors, colleagues, or the discourse community, she would, again, not be able to reveal the identity of her clients or detail any specific or otherwise identifiable information as it says.
Okay, so the possible course of action that Tula can take is she can terminate the counseling relationship with either Andrew or Louisa or both. She can continue counseling both clients. In either scenario, Tula needs to seek outside professional help or advice, and she also needs to do a deep dive into herself regarding interests, like why is this an ethical dilemma for her? She can't effectively counsel both clients due to conflict of interest, confidentiality, and her obligation of service to provide beneficial therapy. So the consequences of either decision, Tula could definitely lose rapport with her clients. I mean, it's a small community, so say that Andrew finds out through his friends that Louisa is now dating Colette, and then Andrew finds out that Louisa is also a client of Tula's. Andrew could be upset. His relationship with Tula could be unsalvageable because he could be assuming that Tula knows about Colette's new relationship. And regarding a denial of justice, that's a consequence because if Tula can't effectively provide equitable services to both Louisa and Andrew, then she's not able to benefit their utmost welfare, which is the most important thing. And then withholding information obviously denies client autonomy for them to make independent decisions of themselves. And not only just Andrew and Louisa, but also third party. So if she releases information, Tula holds power over Colette and power over her own life as well. So the best course of action we decided is to continue counseling both Andrew and Louisa. I think this is the best decision to benefit both clients, because obviously she needs to uphold confidentiality, and withholding information. She needs to just look into how she's going to counsel them both effectively, knowing this information. And if they find out about their other person's respective relationships and then their relationship with Tula, then Tula can walk them through this in sessions and possibly build rapport. But basically, like, she needs to counsel them effectively in the best beneficial way. She also needs to seek guidance, and an interesting source that we found cited moral relativism. And moral relativism is basically that moral standards, they change per societal standards, like in different environments. So in this college campus industry, it's different than, say, if you were doing a private practice in a rural community or like a big city, just because their standards might be different. And so she needs to seek guidance from her colleagues on how to deal with all these conflicts of interest and how confidentiality could potentially be broken, because this can be a recurring conflict of interest constantly while she's working on a college campus. But we decided that she needs to continue counseling both, because I think that if Tula is a good therapist, then I think she could steer the sessions in ways that can benefit both clients, and she's not causing more harm. And also she's taking a pulse on how Andrew is feeling regarding the whole thing. So she definitely doesn't want to cause more harm than good for him.